Well, we have engaged with the Data for Governance Alliance since its inception, and we have been a beneficiary of the trainings, the advocacy platforms, and the networking platforms. And through the engagement with the Data for Governance Alliance, we have been able to get data on various issues that we've been dealing with for our work. Without this data, which has been a progression towards ensuring there's more accessibility of information, it would have been difficult to package our messaging or to engage with the public. For instance, we have been doing a lot of work on promoting respect for term limits in Africa, and this data has enabled us to actually reflect the true situation where Africans are indeed supporting democracy. African citizens are in support of term limits, which has been quite useful in challenging authoritarian narratives that seek to use the incumbency to extend power, while in reality citizens do not support that. Secondly, we have been using the legal information. I have been speaking a lot about how initially there has been a gap, especially within the African region, in accessing some of the legal information, the issues of the laws, judgments coming from the national courts within the African region. And there has been quite a good progression in accessibility of the legal information, which is also useful for us in our comparative learning as lawyers and legal researchers. That accessibility to legal information has really cured a big gap in terms of bridging the legal advocacy, legal engagement, as well as in improving our own research. And without that without that data, it would have been also impossible to open up learning across region from the jurisprudence coming from different courts. Also keeping up update on development of laws within the African region, especially at the national level. This has also created a good opportunity for us to link the national level mechanisms, like the legislatures, the courts, with the regional mechanisms under the African Union, like the African Commission, the African courts, and even the regional courts. That accessibility of information has really been quite useful. And then also learning from each other, even as partners. I have been exposed, or rather we, even at Katiba Institute, have been exposed to a wider partnership network from the African region, basically just through not only the training, but then also through the convening, such as this convening, where we are actually reflecting on what has been the impact of the data coming through this alliance.